I'm Rob Rader from the Hot Mango Seed Podcast, the resident botanist. I only like smoking top shelf. You like good green? You like really good bud? They got everything you need from top to bottom. Only place you can get that is in Central Florida. And from who? I4 Exotics, the best, period.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? If you don't know where you're at right now, you're tuned to the Hot Mango Seed Podcast. Wow, I almost messed that up. Yeah, welcome back for another episode. This is episode number 13. If you're not familiar with us, this is the platform where we peel back the layers and drill down to the seed on everything from crypto, gaming, the marijuana industry, relationships, and just about anything under the sun that's gonna give you value. And I'm Jawan LaRue. I'm here joined with the Hot Mango Seed crew, the VI Massive, Souljah Bless.
Yes, sir. You already know.
King T.
Have no fear, the king is here.
The producer behind the beat you're hearing right now, Henny Skywalker.
The Voodoo Ranger.
And our resident botanist, Rob Rader.
Hello there.
We're back. Wow, I was fumbling on that intro, man. Damn.
Yeah, B.
How y'all feeling?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great about life. A lot of great things happening. Yeah, I know people are like, y'all can't always feel great.
Right.
But I do.
That's weird, though. Have you ever met someone who's like, yo, why are you always happy all the time?
Oh, man, I had somebody get mad at me for being happy too much. Like, ain't no way that's possible.
As if you're not aware of bad shit, but you can't choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Like you're ignorant or like you're naive to the bad shit. Like I'm naive. I'm very aware. I see it. I live in it. But I choose to be positive.
There you go.
Because no one else is going to do it.
Choose positivity.
And it's a choice.
It
is a choice. Because we all go through some shit.
But it's just weird.
Yeah.
But it's our choice on how we're going to let it affect us afterwards.
It's real.
You feel me?
Man, that's the realest thing y'all ever said, man. It is.
Yeah.
It's a mind state, right? Like, because you
Absolutely.
can sit up, like, I don't know about y'all, but, when I sit up and I catch myself watching the news day after day, or I catch myself on social media and I'm not in a great mood, I feel myself start to downturn, right? But when I decide, like, yo, man, scratch all that. I'm about to do me. I'm about to change my whole mindset. It changes and everything starts to affect it, right?
It does.
I ain't watched the news in like 78 years.
I watch it, but I balance it. I watch it, but I balance it with something funny afterwards. Like if it's a bunch of tragic stuff, then I'll switch and I'll watch something that'll make me laugh and kind of get me back in the spirits. Because you have to know what's going on.
I mean, that's why I'm glad for YouTube because you can choose it. But watching the news on like national television is depressing. Chow just got shot. Tune back in 15 minutes later. Like, I want to know. Like, come on. Like,
he said, I want to know.
Like,
yeah, you're right.
You gonna tell me to wait later? You just tell me somebody got pilt up real quick, and then you gotta and plus the next program after that, somebody lost money. This house lost that. This family lost that. Earthquake.
You're right. It's a spiral that'll take you down. Yeah.
Now that's why I see a lot of people are like anxious and nervous. So that's why I choose like. It's marketing. That's why I choose YouTube because you have more control of your content.
Except for the ads. When the ads come on, you gotta show you got
YouTube Premium.
Wait, Rob.
Premium, your ass. No premium.
Y'all paying Mo Frackers.
I got 3 months for free. And then when that's done, I go to one of my other emails and get 3 months for free.
What when it's done? You think YouTube ain't gonna be on to you?
I'm snitching on Henny.
Exactly.
I'm snitching on Henny.
Stay positive, people.
What's the last thing you watched on YouTube? Because I know, like, when I'm at your house and I see your YouTube.
Right.
Oh, his YouTube is scary.
Right?
Oh, it's all over the place. So you want to learn some shit? Follow my YouTube.
What's the
I
last
need to
thing
put another
you
channel. But the last thing I've been keeping up was like the hip hop stuff. So Young Thug and his crew had Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
They called
Rico
Rico.
charge.
They called Rico. He said Puerto Rico.
I thought he went to Puerto Rico. They went to Puerto Rico.
I thought he called a Rico in Puerto Rico. I said a Puerto Rico.
Shout out to all the Puerto Ricans.
Shout out to the Puerto Ricans.
Hey, you know what's crazy too is
he caught something and then it was funny because it was a podcast called $1 Million Worth of Game. Shout out to Rollo and Gilly.
Okay.
They warned this fool about 2 weeks to a month before this shit happened. And
They
then,
might be the police because they've been
Oh,
warning
that-
a lot of
I
people
don't
before
know.
stuff
And
happens.
The
to
thing
them.
is, you
then-
can't want
and then-
somebody.
Oh man, it's been sad. It's been downhill with these guys. Rico, then one
But
of
the
the
thing
young
is, you
artists
can't want somebody
died.
when these man use
so,
rent a car for murder.
Yeah.
that's what
Back
we're
in
watching.
2014, boss. The man way too late to want
Yeah,
this
it's
man.
too late
Yeah,
to
they've been,
watch.
they've been watching since
But he
2013.
rented with his own name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the car. Yeah.
man rent the
He
car
rented
with
the
his
car in his own name. They did a murder.
And they their mother. So now,
That's just silly.
so
man.
they couldn't want him enough because last week or 2 weeks ago they want him, but he do that in 2014.
Yeah,
20
yeah.
a long time ago.
So
Yeah.
they would have catch him regardless. There's no warning for
already
him.
set
They would have
motion.
catch him.
Yeah.
By the
It's
time
already
they
set
want him,
motion.
they done already been on it already.
Yeah, so that's basically what I've been watching on YouTube. Like a bunch of, because right now hip hop is on fire right now. So a lot of people
yeah.
are getting caught up.
Let me
A
tell
lot
you
of-
what else is under fire.
Uh-huh.
So Bless put me on to this YouTube channel, Jason A.
Shout out to Jason A.
Shout out Jason A.
A will make you want to get in a bunker
What?
with some MREs.
What?
That's why it is. That's the life I live right there.
Yeah.
Right?
What about Hassan
Said Soldier be bunkered down with
Jason
MRE.
is the real dude. Let me
Shout
tell
out
you
Jason
something.
A.
Shout out to
Y'all
Y'all
Jason.
gonna make me look this dude up.
Nostradamus in the flesh. This
Yeah.
man see the vision.
Yeah.
This man read revelations and he had a revelation his damn self, and then now he putting it out on YouTube. You
This
understand what I
man,
mean?
this man was talking about COVID back in 06.
Yeah.
This
No,
man
I mean,
preemptively
probably
see
not
that
that.
shit. This man see all the strains. Man see how much times Rob would have had COVID. He see
Damn.
Mutations are real. Shout out to Professor X.
Oh, Professor X is crazy too. What you talking about here?
Hassan Campbell.
Hassan Campbell, what is
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, I be watching Hassan
That guy's an
Campbell
agent.
sometimes.
He's a-
Hassan Campbell?
wrong.
You think he an agent?
Something wrong
I
with
think Wack 100 an agent.
Oh, right, he's for sure the agent.
Yeah.
I don't
is
know
it?
who
Wait,
y'all
what
talking
kind
about.
of
These are
agent
two
are you?
guys. These are two
I don't
guys
know who they
taking
federal
over
agents.
Talking about
like,
federal
world
agents.
hip-hop, like right now.
Taking
These
over
are the ones
hip-hop.
These are the
But-
ones that's actually creating the narrative for all hip hop.
Well, I like listening to Hassan Campbell because he be talking real shit.
From time to time.
From time to
I
time.
thought you was
Yeah.
gonna say
But-
that about
but-
Wack
but
100.
for him,
I
I'm
know,
saying,
I can't stand that guy.
like
I don't
with
even
me,
know who they are.
I say he the
Games
way
manager.
I like listening to Hassan Campbell because he don't just talk about hip hop. Like
you know,
he, like right now he's
Blueface
talking.
manager.
Yeah, I like him right now because he's talking about like the gun violence in Buffalo, and then he's also talking about how but he's also talking about
We can talk about Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Freddie Gibbs and
that was,
Benny
you
the
see
Butcher.
video, that was beautiful.
The Butcher, I said.
That was
Butcher.
crazy. Well, I was
But
saying,
like-
my bad. Take that back. That was crazy.
But
Yeah.
no, but I'm saying he was talking about that,
Uh-huh.
and that I like what he was saying about that. Like he's saying, you know, people want to be gangster, but they don't want to be a hero. So that's what Hassan Campbell was saying. He was like, right now in hip hop, everybody want to be menace to society, but don't nobody want to be Superman.
Right.
Don't nobody want to save people.
Yeah.
Nobody
He
wants to be
said
Static Shock.
Yeah.
he said that, you know, 10, 13 people got their snot box rocked, as he say, because, you know, in New York, they say weird shit.
Yeah.
But he said they got their snot box rocked, and these guys in a restaurant fighting.
Yeah.
Where we all when these guys was getting, these aunts and grandmothers and everybody
Kids
was getting
and all
shot
that,
at
yeah.
this store, why weren't y'all, you know, on some superhero shit then, but y'all want to be menace to society in a
Beef with
restaurant.
each other.
So that type of
Yeah.
shit, I like listening to him because
Yeah.
everybody else don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So, like, it's so funny y'all bring that up, right? Because that's a big topic right now. The mass shooting that happened. You know, rest in peace to all of
Yeah,
the
rest in peace to all of those
victims
that lost.
that were in
lost their
Buffalo.
lives.
Yeah, in New York. You know, and so we're gonna today. Our topic of the day was gonna be on gun violence. You know, but you know, given that the topic of discussion is pretty heavy. You know, I was thinking, you know, let's start off with some light and entertaining news. One of our favorite discussions.
There you go.
The Florida man news, right? And unless you've been asleep under a rock or sheltered from national news, it's no secret that Florida's home to some of the most odd, weird, and amazing stories, right? And a quick disclaimer, you know, because I feel like we didn't get this out last time. As much as we make light and fun of, you know, the funny stories that come out of Florida, don't get it twisted for 1 second. We love this place.
Yes,
We
sir.
got nothing but love for this place. And as, you know, me personally, as I mentioned, I'm from Seattle, and I now call this place Florida home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I love Florida, man.
man, you
It's
know,
crazy. yo.
Love
This-
Florida,
this
man?
spontaneous.
I love Florida,
love
man.
Florida.
Come on now.
Florida is super random. super random.
It is.
Fun times, but super random. Just
Right.
You know.
Yeah, random shit happens
Very
down here.
spontaneous.
You know,
Crazy random shit happens here.
We random as hell.
and it may not be perfect, but it's a place, you know, that we've all grown to love. And, you know, you could talk about Florida all you want, but, you know, don't talk too much because we will get defensive. Get the right. So
Florida's like a Adult Swim show.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it feels like.
That's
It's an
a
Adult Swim
great-
show. That's how I can
It
put
is
it
an
in.
Adult Swim
that's
show.
a great explanation. Yeah. But I had a few Florida man stories here, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, what we got?
Florida man stories, you know, and keep in mind, right, like the stories that we come up with, man, we stay away from. I mean, there's some crazy stories that happen, a lot of gun violence, a lot of murder, kidnapping, bodies found, and all that kind of stuff, but we keep to the light stuff. So in Florida man news, a Florida man a Palm Harbor man, which is in Tampa, is facing charges for misuse of a wireless 911 system. According to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, during a 911 call on May 8th, a Florida man told the dispatcher that El Chapo needed to be freed from prison and President Biden needed to be placed in a prison.
So he called 911 to save him.
Yes.
I got something to tell you.
the man was informed that his call, you know, the dispatch said that, you know, this call is a non-emergency situation, and he was told not to contact 911 for the non-criminal activity. However, the man called again soon after, requesting to speak with deputies, police say. When deputies asked why he called again, he repeated that El Chapo needed to be freed and Biden needed to be placed in prison.
He know Joe Byron didn't put El Chapo in prison.
Joe Byron.
So after this man called for a third time within an hour, making the same statement, he was arrested and taken into custody, according to the sheriff's office. Joe Biden.
He's a danger to himself. That's why.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine this man saying Joe Biden needs to be replaced with.
And he probably
El
dead
Chapo.
serious about what he was thinking.
Man,
Yeah, he ain't joking. Them people crazy down here, man. Yeah.
Does he know El Chapo is the reason like heads and hands and family was like missing and hands and heads chopped off?
Yeah,
and
Chapo
all that
learned that
stuff?
from somebody else.
Man, he
I mean,
wasn't
of course he
getting-
is for other dictators, but you know,
Yeah.
why would you have someone? That's a dictator.
He
Pretty
was,
much.
he was tired of getting
Chapo.
He was tired of getting that stepped on coat.
Yeah,
man.
well,
He
the
said, "I want El
Chapo-
back."
He wanted a fish scale. So
They
I guess
might have one of his people.
He wanted to go swimming.
That could have been it too. They might
No,
have one of
I
his
know.
people.
True that. So another story. This story right here was crazy, right? And this just, I don't even know if it'd be a Florida story or whatever, but it happened in Florida. So in West Palm Beach, Florida, a Florida man was flying with no experience, a Florida man with no flying experience landed a small plane and says the hand of God was with him after the pilot collapsed at the controls. So close your eyes and imagine this. Darren Harrison told NBC's Today Show that he was relaxing with his feet up in the back of a single-engine Cessna.
Yeah, Cessna, yeah.
So after a fishing trip in the Bahamas, when the pilot told him and another passenger, guys, I got to tell you, I don't feel good. Man, just that part right there.
My heart would have sank when he
Bruh.
said that. What?
He said, I've got a headache and I'm fuzzy and I just don't feel right. Harrison says, what do you need us to do? And at that point, he didn't respond at all. So Harrison climbed into the cockpit and saw that the plane was diving and fast. He says, all I saw when I came up to the front was water out the right window, and I knew it was coming quick. At that point, I knew if I didn't react that we would die. So he reached over the unconscious pilot, grabbed the controls, slowly pulled back the stick to level the plane. And he said it was a common sense move. He said, I knew if I went up and yanked that, the plane would stall, he said. And I also knew that at the rate we were going way too fast and it would probably rip the wings off of the plane. With the help of another passenger, they moved the unconscious pilot. Just imagine all this happening. It's crazy. They moved the unconscious pilot and contacted the air traffic control. Then the air traffic controller Robert Morgan, Coach Harrison into a safe, scary landing at Palm Beach International Airport.
That is crazy, dude.
And
I can't even land in the video games.
I was struggling.
I be crashing in the video games, man.
Shout out to
Microsoft
Grand
Simulator.
Theft
I'll go right to the
Auto,
mountain.
and shout out to Microsoft Flight
He
Simulator.
said Grand Theft is
Because
how
he
he
knew,
learn.
because he knew not to yank that joint back.
Yeah.
He went straight up and fell
Simulator,
back.
yeah. I'm going
Yeah.
right to the
Common
mountain.
sense
That's how I'm
fuck.
lying.
That was a good
I guarantee you
Simulator,
played
bro.
video
But
games.
that's crazy.
I crashed the first time I hopped in the game immediately. I didn't even. I pulled up and boom.
I was looking to crash because I knew I couldn't change.
I guarantee you played video games.
Oh yeah.
No, he had to get control. So, okay,
I'm
let's
watching
say,
the movies.
That's
let's
crazy.
say us five are on a plane right now
Yeah.
in the Bahamas, and then the pilot collapses. Who out of us do
I
we
would.
trust to
I
fly?
jump up there.
I wouldn't
Where's the
trust.
flight?
I wouldn't trust none of us.
I
But
jump
I
up
would.
there.
that y'all all go jump
Yeah.
up there. That scare me. But
Yeah, I
not
jump up there.
jumping.
I
I get
would.
up there. I get up there.
I would
Yeah.
definitely jump up
there's
there,
instruction
but
manuals.
I get up there. I get up there next to
I mean,
T.
if you were taking
And
like
like,
every card comes with the instruction manual, like the
He
card
said an
manual, right?
instruction
Every
manual.
card comes with a card
Look.
manual, so I would expect that the airplane came with some kind of manual.
Look in the glove.
Hey, real
at the
talk.
glove part real
Real
quick.
talk. I will tell you what I think I would do right now,
What
which
would you
I
do?
think I would get up and grab the control. Do I think I would have thought about pulling it back too fast? No, that wouldn't have even popped in my head. Yeah, I probably would have grabbed it and yanked it up. We all been screwed over. But now, what I say I think I would do, and what happens when real shit pop, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, when that plane start diving, I don't know if I'm going to be thinking about what I should be doing other than we might be dying. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just know that I reacted in combat, so I think I would react in that situation, but it could be different.
Yeah. Like I just think of that, man. I feel like I would be looking for a parachute. I feel like
Rue's like, there's only one, guys. I'm
Yeah.
out.
and I would be, hey guys. Nah, I wouldn't do that. Nah, but I don't know. When I think about it, who would I trust out of y'all? I feel like
I don't think
know,
we would have time to think about who we trust. I think it would be one of those whoever can get to the controls fastest.
I feel like Bless would jump up there though.
Nah, hell no.
Yeah,
I
it would.
would grab the control and I think I would think about that, but I can't say for sure, you know, in that.
But it's variables
Yeah.
too, like how high are we in the sky, how much time we might possibly.
Because they were the way it sounded like I'm pretty sure they had moved close to him when he started saying he didn't feel good at all.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
timing.
They like, hey, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when you start, your senses pop up like, hold on. The one flying said he ain't feeling right. Yeah, that's what everybody's senses would have been on. So
What happened
we
to the-
instantly would have been paying attention.
Oh yeah, it was a small plane because I was about to say what happened to the freaking co-pilot, man.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah,
Cessna.
it wasn't. Yeah.
And I done sat in the co-pilot seat before in them small ass Cessnas. So
It's just
yeah,
small fuck, right?
yeah.
Nah, B. I'm good. I'm good. That
Looks
makes
fun
me
though.
not
I
want
mean, it looks fine.
No, it doesn't.
You just gotta have faith with God.
In fact, that was when we were
Honestly,
coming from St.
just gotta
Croix.
faith,
Me and the
believe.
kid's mom coming from St. Croix.
Faith is staying.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I sat in the co-pilot seat the whole way.
Yeah, it's like that in
So you gotta
Yeah.
see.
America too. You
But-
gotta get to one side.
And then
to the
if
other.
you watch enough movies, you know you're not to yank up on the stick
See?
too hard.
No.
You watch movies
Yeah.
like Airplane,
What else?
and then
Airplane
Air
is a
Force
good
One,
example.
Which
else?
one was that with?
Soul
and then
Plane.
Space
Soul
on the
Plane.
Plane.
Soul Plane.
Soul
Y'all know we would be so
many plane
playing.
movies.
We would be so playing
So-
all day long up in
We,
that
we,
bitch.
we have subtle directions. We don't have in detail, but we have like the basics to
man.
keep us level.
We would definitely be
I
so
know what I'm
playing.
not gonna do is wait for you to go. Let me look. Chapter 3 says.
Rob
Yeah,
would be,
chapter.
Rob would be too high to make a move. The plane would be diving. He
Why
just
is
be,
he not reacting? I'm
To Rob,
smacked.
we go
the
dead
plane
like
would be
fuck.
diving, and Rob would be just sitting there like looking at us like
Think about it. We can just jump out.
I believe Rob would light a joint.
he would.
While going down.
Yeah.
Going
Yup.
down, he like,
I can
hey,
see him like, well, this is the end.
Jesus got us. Jesus got us.
Hey, but
So Lord, you gonna
hey,
get us
but
canceled.
to segue, we started out lightly because, we're gonna jump into a heavy subject, a heavy topic. Something that's very passionate amongst us all, and it's just, man, it's so tragic of, the amount of gun violence happening, right? The man, again, rest in peace to, just imagine, right, for the color of their skin, innocent people, man, elders killed in a grocery store, to hate crimes, to turn on the news and hear about, Memorial Day weekend. You think of that, of how many shooting there's gonna be in Chicago and in Cleveland, in LA, in Miami. You know, like gun violence is definitely out of control. Orlando, right?
Yeah, Orlando be wilding.
And so, look, I was looking at this study and it was just blowing my mind, right? I was looking at this thing, according to Brady, and they're a United Against Gun Violence organization. Every day, 321 people are shot in the United States.
You said 300 what?
321 people every day are shot in the United States.
I thought it was more than that.
Among those,
Not bad.
so among those, 100.
Yeah, it's not good, but it's not bad.
Check this out. Among those, 111 people are shot and killed. 210 survive gunshot injuries. 95 are intentionally shot by someone else and survive. 42 are murdered. 65 died from gun suicide. 10 survive an attempted gun suicide. 1 is killed unintentionally. 90 are shot unintentionally and survive. 1 is killed by legal intervention. 4 are shot by legal intervention and survive. 1 died by the intent was unknown. And 12 are shot and survived, but the intent was unknown. Excuse me. Just the thought, I mean, 321 people.
That's a lot.
I mean, like, I was looking at in 2021, there was like 20,000 plus people that were killed by gun violence. That's not even counting suicide.
Right.
Yeah, I almost came in one time. Gun violence is not fun.
It's a part of American culture, unfortunately.
Which it should, yeah. It's
The gun.
sad that you say it like that, but it should be. But it apparently that's
we have
it's in our blood.
The people of the United States, and that's government and citizens, have more guns than all the countries combined.
It's in our Constitution.
That's what's crazy.
Because we have right to bear arms.
We have enough for every person to have it. We have enough for every person to have at least 2 guns here in the United States.
And don't you think about Texas and Florida, you know, the gun nut states and stuff like that.
There's
other states out there that's gun nuts and shit.
So
stupid.
So the question I pose to y'all, you know, is like, I mean, it's that same question that gets asked all the time, you know, do people kill or do guns kill, you know?
Both.
It's not like a trigger can pull itself.
Yeah.
Right, so our guns
I'm always giving it to the people.
I look at guns like I look at money. People always say, you know, money's the root of all evil. No. Because you give a good person money, they can help a whole lot of people. Right. The gun can be used to help feed a lot of people, hunting, to survival. However, with that being said, for every great good person, there's somebody that ain't so good, right? And the balance of, we all know, the balance of good and bad, it balances in the universe, right? Sometimes one is stronger than the other, but there's always a balance. So the gun is not evil. Yes. It's who is in control of the gun.
I agree.
That determines the evilness of it.
I agree, and that's why, like, you know, when I think of the amount of guns that we have, like, I don't think that that's a problem, because I feel like, you know, that you look at somebody, right, who's a gun collector, they might have 321 guns, right? Get robbed.
Somebody steal their guns.
Or nobody even touches those guns. They're antiques. They're, you know, they stay there. Mm-hmm. Then you got this one person who's, you know, has a bad day, has a bad encounter, and goes and buys a gun, and boom.
Yeah, like recently, because a lot of people are untrained in guns but still have guns. And there's a recent story about a young kid who goes to a neighbor's porch because the kids had a little problem. It's a black kid, it's a black family. The white kid goes to the house, knocks on the door with a whip.
The mother
answers
whip.
And stuff like that. And then goes to the next house. And then the father gets home. And then the father goes to the next house to let the other father know what his kid did. The father came out with a gun. The father had allegedly misfired a gun.
No, he didn't.
Almost.
He fired.
Yeah,
he fired.
He misfired.
We're gonna,
he fired that hoe.
Where was this at?
Protection for the complexion. But he allegedly fired a gun, and it almost hit, I think, either
his daughter, his own daughter. That's why I said it was accident, because it was almost his daughter.
So like a lot of these people who have guns are very uneducated, very much so. I had homeboys who got stuff that, and I feel like they shouldn't have because they're not as educated as they should be.
Right. They're not with the finger on the trigger immediately.
Yeah. Like it's
Finger on the trigger.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's too easy. Like people are playing too much Call of Duty. It's not like first person shooter. Like I see somebody doing something stupid, let me pop him.
What I think people don't understand is that it's very easy to, in a tense situation, to squeeze a trigger if your finger is on the trigger.
It ain't hard to squeeze
Proper
the trigger.
gun protocol, your finger needs to be off the trigger unless you intend to fire.
That's the only time it needs to hit the trigger.
The only time. So when people grab it out their pants, grab it out of whatever, it misfires often because they grab it right by the trigger, and then they don't understand that. Sometimes
like they never heard of
take as much
safety
fun.
either.
They don't take as
And
much
that's,
fun.
I mean, I think and I think too, I agree with that because I feel like it does really come down to your experience with a gun and your obviously somebody teaching you because in the street rules, the street etiquette is what I've been told since I was young, since I was a little boy that never even touched a gun, was like, don't you ever pull a gun out on somebody unless you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Like you don't flash your gun, and and so the question I'm gonna pose to y'all, because like let's go through what's the cause and effect, and then let's try to offer some solutions as being the
solutions.
Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Put your hands up before
but like Bless I get pissed off when we be playing the Division and them little dudes run up on me with the gun sideways. I be like, straighten that shit up. He's shooting at me sideways. I be getting mad as hell.
But what do y'all think the cause of like this? Do you think it's video games? Do you think it's music? What do you think is causing this? Like, right? Because if you look at a graph, right? If you literally look at a graph at, from the time that we were young, like in the age us, let's go back to the 90s to the, beginning of 2000, the early 2000s, you look at the gun violence there compared to now, it's like a huge increase. Now, where do you think it's the generations? Do you think it's the internet?
I give you, at least from my opinion, what I think it is. First of all, America was built on guns. Yep. People were kidnapped from other places, brought here with by gunpoint, and then they came and took over the country by gunpoint. So it started out by the gun. Right. All right. Now, as time has gone on, we have done what we call desensitizing.
Big time.
In everything. By the time a kid becomes an adult, they've seen thousands of murders. In fact, in the game, they probably helped commit 1,000 video game murders, right? Thousands of them, like it's nothing. So when they get in that anger mode in their fantasy world, they're already imagining what they want to do. It just takes a small, thin line for somebody to cross that path. And just takes the right scenario, right? One of them crazy kids that used to go and like we hear them on the social where they be spazzing on the when we playing sometimes. Yeah. Spazzing, talking about they want to kill everybody in real life. Like, whoa, this is just a game.
I can't. All right, so you can put it in a map. Yeah. Just map it from movies, games, music. Yeah. It's everything. A whole map of stuff. Yeah. But you really can't pinpoint it because just as recently, the Buffalo shooter, you can. Just listen to his family. You can kind of blame it on his family.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You can't put it on Grand Theft Auto. Sorry, keep bringing that damn game up, but Grand Theft Auto, you can't put it on Call of Duty or outside of that medium of
for the desensitization.
Media. But I'm saying, but movies, music, it's a part of it because it's a chant. It's something that you like how Boosie explained when someone hates you, they constantly hear and see you all day. So when these kids are playing these games, watch these movies, you're constantly around it all day. So that's the whole being desensitized and stuff like that. But the action of it is kind of hard to pinpoint. But I can't, or we can't lean it more towards the home itself. Like I feel it's more towards the home.
Upbringing?
Yeah, the upbringing. Because I've been around video games all day. Shoot, bang, bang, doom, cut off. Right. I don't even care for guns. Give me a knife.
Well, that's because everybody's chemistry is different, though.
And that's what I'm saying. But to me, it starts. If you are to pinpoint something, I will blame it at the house.
Yep.
Yeah, no. I think it all starts at home. Everything starts at home because I decide whether or not my kid can play Grand Theft Auto. True. Now, but with that being said, when my kids leave the house, I have no control over what they're seeing. At all. And on their way to school, I can't help what their friends are showing them and telling them. Facts. I can't help any of that stuff unless I just put them in a bubble and keep them in the house. In America, it's impossible to hide that violence on a constant basis. So, I do believe it starts at home. The things you teach your kids will decide how they accept everything else for the most part.
Yeah,
there are a lot of kids that no matter what you do, they're gonna be the
never know.
kids.
You
but
can be influenced by
but I think we've turned. We're so focused on, the capitalistic side of how much we can make in the movie. We don't care what's in the movie and who goes to see it. And the same with our music.
Snapped on that.
And the same with our music. You think about. People talk about the black on black violence all the time. Oh, we gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Culture.
But you're gonna go buy the album that talks about let's kill each other, and you're gonna go spend the money on the stuff that talk about killing each other. But then you want to get on TV and talk about we need to come together and stop all this. You cannot.
When they talk about black on black crime,
and then go speak about it.
It ain't that
I'm just
much
trying to
higher
teach you.
than white on white crime.
Oh no, white on white crime is just as bad. It's all just as high.
It's actually higher.
But listen.
Focus on black on
I understand that, but listen, it is embedded in our music like it's part of who we are.
Yeah.
The funny part is, for every person that sings them songs, there's only 1 out of 10 that actually have a gun.
And like a little fun fact, like the 808 drum is actually a war drum.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get you ready.
Yeah.
That's in a lot of music.
Well, bass.
Don't blame it on the.
I'm not blaming it on it, but it's a part of it.
Well, no. It's a proven fact that the lower frequencies get you in a more amped state. They teach you that in audio.
Weak mental state.
They teach you that in audio.
Just let you know.
Well, not a weak mental state. They put you in a kind of a warrior mental state. When you have the bass, the more bass a song has, the more kind of in that battle mode you get. But
if I can give you my take on it, before I do, once again, you're tuned in. You're tuned into the Hot Mango Seed podcast. Make sure you follow us on all social medias. We'll follow you back, as well as we're on the hunt for sponsorship. If you're looking to add your commercial, like you heard the I4 Exotics before.
Shout out I4 Exotics.
Yeah, shout them out.
Exotics.
We definitely can make a 15-second, 30-second spot for your company and get you in front of our audience. But back to the topic, this is my personal opinion. I think that this is now we are a society of copycats. I think that we're desensitized because I feel like when this young boy, whoever his name was, the 18-year-old, seeing that all these other mass shootings, it's inspiring him to do it. I feel like people commit suicide because they're inspired by the many suicides that they see. Not all.
He wrote a manifesto.
Right.
Or a little page.
And I'm sure that he looked up an example of what a manifesto is before he did it. I'm sure this wasn't his brain scheme.
This is the white racist manifesto, or the white supreme manifesto. So it's already based in hate and crime.
Yeah, and
so he knows about it.
Like my point is that he's inspired by somebody. I feel like
I think so
when
too.
you go to the hood and the cats that you see all these music videos that make me sick to my stomach when you see them all doing the point the gun, like in the video, right?
And
like,
I can't blame guilt
bow,
on these
bow,
people,
bow. Like I feel like it's all influence. We're a society of copycats that copy each other and repeat what we see.
And where's that come from?
Easy.
And
ever since babies,
where's that come from?
That's a great question because I don't know.
Mafia. Black people want to be just like Mafia because those Italians came over here, right?
Right.
And was able to just make their own lane,
Scarface.
and we was still back in the back getting fucked over.
Yeah.
And black people saw that shit as inspiration.
Paid in full.
Literally, when you listen to gangster rap and you listen to all that shit, sounds straight like Mafia. Like Mafia movies, Mafia. It's Mafia.
They use the names.
Yeah, but we was street before the music. Now you
look
back to the Zoot Suits.
We were local.
You know what I'm saying?
But the way we're playing now,
we talking about
she's saying we're actually
that.
Right.
That's
What'd you say?
The gangster rap is Mafia.
Yeah,
but
she's actually right. She's actually Mafia.
And
it used to be local, like back in the what is it, Black Exploitation days.
Yeah.
Yeah, local black shit. Crips and Bloods when that originally started, and Black Panthers.
No, way before that.
Yeah,
around the time.
No, Zoot Suits was way before Crips and Bloods, man.
No, I'm before the progression move. Sorry, but just saying.
No, don't say sorry.
It's
Fuck that.
Don't say sorry.
It is more. If you pay attention to the rappers, they actually have Italian names.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm going to use Kevin Gates every time. Luca Brasi.
But at the same time, I just like I know that we created the culture, right? But there's also nowadays I'm looking at 2022 and I'm seeing there's not only black kids, there's white kids, there's Hispanic kids, there's Asian kids, there's Arabic kids that are doing the same the same thing. And the thing is, it's like with the white supremacists, they're all following somebody too. They're not these masterminds coming up with these plans. So I feel like we're just a society of copycats. And I think now with the guns, it's like where does it stop? That's the influence. That's this era of being able to have access to see videos everywhere. You can go on World Star right now and see somebody getting stomped out in New Zealand. You blame that on
the human condition, though, because we're just some curious ass people.
We are. You
gotta blame that on the human condition. Now that we have the access to that, you can only blame that on the people themselves. Until you learn, because I'm one of those people that went through World Star, and I feel like World Star is a piece of shit.
It's so toxic.
But
is World Star still around still?
Yes, very much so. Even after the owner died.
The owner died?
Yeah.
Q World Star. I pay attention to a lot of shit.
How we died?
Still need to talk about it.
Gun violence?
No, I think it was like a heart attack or something.
Yeah, he had a heart
random.
attack or something.
But a lot of these websites push it, but it really. Someone can come out and say something, because this lady I watch on YouTube now, she's doing a whole spiritual following on that, and you can follow that on Hulu. But it's right now it's crazy. It's too many followers. It's nasty.
But think about it, right? Like
I can't even talk. It's nasty already, right?
When we were younger, right?
Too nasty right now.
We had duck hunt.
Yeah.
But
that ain't made me want to go bust nobody down.
Nobody. Now when you have
Vanessa Carlton.
But listen. So when you have Call of
Duty, miles away.
That's not a gangster rap song.
He took it, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. She did let the gangsters sample it.
Thank you.
And she approved it.
He took in simple shit.
Damn, you're right.
It's nasty out here right now.
He thinking he just talking gibberish, but
no,
I'm not talking facts.
You're talking facts. Yeah.
Like I don't care how much I pay attention to it. I can be DJ Academics right now.
Well, I'm glad you're not.
You don't want me about it.
It is so many. It's like right now. It's very nasty. It's like, all right. So we got the whole rush and everything happening, but also the stuff happening here in the third world. Like right now, we are getting to third world level of murder between our own culture.
Facts.
Yeah. We're getting there. And we're heading there, and it's getting scary. But a lot of people are not talking about it because we're like, oh, they deserve it. But that's their own fucking skin.
How are they getting
We're such a small percentage. That we're, especially our kind, we put the heat on them more than anybody else. We can say they're the culture, but we do. We're the ones that make everything bleed. We're the ones that make everything go. But we're the ones that cancels things so fast. Especially when you put the jargon and names over certain things, it's just fucked up. Like we really need, especially that mental health. Like we really need help out here.
Mental health's a big issue.
And this shooting, it's crazy. It's really getting nasty.
Mental health's a big issue.
It's really getting. It's real.
I think the only way possible to change this mentality is to change how we talk to our children. Because the older people they're already set.
We've been saying that for years.
I know we've been saying it for years, but let's be realistic. How many old heads you gonna get to change their mind?
They keep getting locked up. They keep dying.
Right.
That's what's happening to us.
So what I'm saying is, you started with the youth. And because people our age ain't gonna change.
Yeah.
People in their late 20s ain't changing. They already set in their ways. People that are 20 years old, by then they've already done half the gangster stuff they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if you hit them when they're young, and I'm gonna tell you how I know. I don't know if my kids are gonna turn out bad or not. And I might have just been lucky with the children I got. You know what I'm saying? But when I first, we all hitting the table here. When I realized my music was negatively affecting my children, I changed.
Yeah, you heard that. Yeah.
You heard my old music.
Yeah, kudos to you, brother.
You heard my old music, and it was me walking into my oldest son's room at like 2 a.m, and he was playing, like you said, my old label, Ghetto Style Records, and he was playing one of my CDs of me talking about shooting and killing, and bitches and this. And it hurt my heart, dude. Like, I'm sitting in his doorway about to cry. My 12-year-old son. This is how he sleep. He listened to my music every single night. Every night. So at 12 years old, I already polluted his mind. And I was like, no, No. This young man is not gonna die because I taught him wrong.
And then our culture,
you feel me?
That's the only reason we changed.
And that's why I changed everything. I changed everything. So we gotta. And when I changed, so did his music change.
Yeah.
So did the way he act. So did all our kids are my kids are the way they are because I surrounded them with people like y'all that spit the positivity, that bring nothing. You think about who's around them on a normal basis. Souljah Bless, Jawan LaRue, you know what I'm saying? Rob, people that do not bring that bull crap into the house.
Right.
I protected my kids that way.
And I respect that.
He still
you feel me?
about Blueface,
They, I mean, my kids still might become gangsters. I don't know, but right now it's looking good.
It is,
and only because the conversation is different.
Very much so. All right. If we're gonna, since I said about pinpointing, I'm gonna put it on. It just comes from the house. You can't get influence everywhere else, but that strong base of learning and understanding everything
starts at home.
House.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, okay, so you can, like, this is what I always talk about, like with my sister, right? When you, it's like, especially now, me having a 19-year-old son, right? And
Kudos.
just like T mentioned, right? You can shelter your child, or even your sibling, your younger sibling, or your niece or nephew. You can shelter them until they walk out of that door. From that point on, all you can rely on is that you told them the right stuff, that you instilled stuff that dropped into their spirit, and that it's gonna come up and it's gonna be right from wrong. You know that if all the homies, like I'll never forget. Like I remember being in like 6th, 7th grade, and this is really personal, I'm gonna share, but I remember being in 6th, 7th grade, and I had a bunch of friends that was like, yo, we're finna go rob a house. You know, and they're like, you know, it's so-and-so's house, they're out of town, you know, we know where the key is on the back porch, we're about to go in and hit it, you know, are you coming? And at that point, you know, all I could think was my mama, like, hell no.
Yeah, mama gonna catch me.
Tear me up. My mama will kill me. I ain't worried about getting arrested. I'm not worried about, you know what I'm saying, getting attacked by a dog or shot if they're in there. I'm worried about my mom's, and that's the upbringing. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, and me, I didn't have to worry about my mom. And I did some shit like that in Maryland, and then I didn't have to worry about my mom.
Yeah.
So this all.
Now I will say this: is sometimes you have a good upbringing, but it's just where you're at. You know, because my parents always taught me to treat people right. Always taught me to do the right. Like I can never one time say I didn't get an ass whooping I didn't deserve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In my entire life. But I still wound up being a gang leader at one point.
Right.
And I still wind up, you know, being in them streets. So, and it wasn't because when I walked in the house, gang leader or not, it's yes ma'am, no ma'am. So I had the right upbringing, but my mentality was messed up because when they would tell me something and I felt it, but then I would go out in the streets and every single one of my friends is in a whole different environment. And once again, like I said, you can't protect them once they leave the house. Once they leave the house is based on how strong of an impact you had on them. And they had a strong impact on me, but my whole world outside of the home was in the hood. It was surrounded by the dope boys. These were the ones that would talk to me on the way home from school. This was a normal way of seeing things. So I dove into it because that's where I was. Not saying I was right. My parents did right. So sometimes it's not just the parents, but they did what they could to teach me what I and it didn't help me then, but as I grew older, it definitely started helping me later.
It stayed with you, right?
It stayed with me. And now I laugh because I'm like, you know, they're saying I don't want to be just like my parents. I got so many of my parents' traits right now. It's comedy.
So
I laugh at myself now. Yeah.
Me, I put it on my like homeboys' parents. That's like not my own parents. It was, I gotta put it on there.
They were there for you.
So
that's who was there.
Not to put them on the spot.
Miss Rhodes, Miss Courtney.
But there's like
Shout
a
out.
whole nother concept of gun violence, and I'm putting you on the spot, Bless. I've talked to, you know, many of my VI brothers, you know, who they're, you know, they come from St. Croix, and each one of them, when they go back and visit, you know, all they come back with is like almost a pale, scared look, like, yo, there's so much violence happening on the island. If you don't know how big St. Croix is, I've never visited myself, but it's like
it's
45 minutes to get across or around.
45 minutes to get across.
Like, so
it's not big.
What do you think? I mean, from growing up in the Virgin Islands, you know, like with the gun violence, what do you think is the influence there? Why it's so bad, and is it getting worse in your opinion?
It's more of a combination of things, but I think that where it really stems from is influence culture, because these kids, their parents, they ain't even paying no attention to them. They come home, the kids they ain't even minding the kids' schoolwork or whatever. They ain't even checking to see if anything going on. All they know is that the kid up the road, you see what I'm saying? So he up the road, he could be doing whatever.
Yeah, that's my life.
And then you seeing all of the kids, you seeing everybody doing everything like that. And I think it's just that in St. Croix, we just look to the mainland, to the United States, the Babylon to
escape.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
To drive all of our, the things that were trending, what we want to do, the influence.
Right.
Huh? So they seeing all of this and hearing all of this. So all they seeing, and plus, dancehall music, reggae music, these things all go into the mind of these kids. You see what I mean? And everybody wanted to be a bad man. In where I come from, the bad man have all the girls.
Right.
The bad
Yo,
man
of course.
have the best
Of
car.
course. Of course.
The bad man have, so if you use the dude on the sideline and then you see like, wow, like, hey,
the square.
Maybe I should be a bad man too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's all of the bad man them have all the
Yep.
girls. Use a good dude. The girl them
Square.
don't want
Yeah.
you. You
Straight
understand
square.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, straight square.
in those times, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how it is. You see what I mean?
So tell me this, right? Like, so when I think of, going back to music, right? I think about, I feel like, you would have never heard like Future or Moneybagg Yo. Forgive me if I messed up his name. You would never heard those guys on the radio years back, right?
You didn't, because Future was a conscious rapper before he was Future.
Meathead.
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
just stay with me.
Meathead.
No,
His facts.
But listen,
His name was Meathead.
But listen, I'm saying the
Yeah.
style of
That's
music.
Yeah.
Dungeon Family.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Meathead.
the style of music, the more aggressive music. You would have never heard that because MC Hammer and all that was on the radio. So when you think about the Caribbean culture, right? Like, do you think that the music switched too? Do you think that it started to get a lot more violent and mainstream?
I mean, it always been violent. Yeah.
Are they trapping in the word on this?
Yeah, they always had dancehall track and thing talking about gun track, gun tune, gangsters, gangsters living. It always been there, right?
Yeah.
But I think so much more that it's the music now start to get changed to now where, like you see, everything is that.
Yeah. There's
it's
no
trap-
alternative.
So it's
There
trap,
ain't no
nothing-
difference in
it's
it. So
trap.
everybody talking about gun tune, everybody talking about bitch tune, everybody talking about, you know what I mean? So it's they didn't have no conscious track. Back in the day you would have hear a gun tune, a conscious track, then a gun tune again, probably another gun tune, then like two conscious track. Like, it's a mix to give people a little balance. But I think that now it's just everybody just on the gun thing.
There's no balance.
Bad
So you-
man,
but-
bad
There's
but
no
that's-
balance.
but For
Like-
it seems like for the black industry, that's what it is. You gotta
Yeah.
sell trauma.
Yeah.
You gotta sell pain.
Reggae to me ain't even nothing the same.
It's not the same no more.
Not even
So it's
the
trauma,
reggae,
it's trauma,
no
pain.
dancehall. Dancehall
Trauma,
always
pain.
had the slackness in it, right? But
Uh-huh.
to me, even that changed. The sound changed, the pitch changed, the vibe changed, the feeling,
It's not real.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything's
The
changed.
pitch.
Yeah, everything changed out. It's nothing like how it used to
So
be.
the
like,
home
yeah,
feeling's gone, basically.
It's just
the real home feeling's gone.
it's not. Even the gunman them would have conscious tune.
Yeah.
Really? The
So I'm saying
real-
bounty killer, the
The
poor
real
people,
ones.
the
Yeah.
poor people governor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This man would have
yeah.
he released
The
a
real
double.
ones.
He released a double album.
Yeah.
One CD
Yeah.
was for the people of the ghetto, talking about how you could rise up, how you could get up out
Yeah.
of thing. The next CD is just pure gun tune, pure war tune, talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
hey,
Because you see it though, because they're not selling
It
it if
was
we're
a
talking
balance.
positive,
It was a
which is
balance.
perfect,
And-
yeah.
and,
but they're not selling it if we're talking positive like that.
Yeah.
But
We gotta
Soldiers
mask it.
Soldiers has a very good point, and it goes back to what I was saying about our music and what we and all the stuff we surround ourselves with. Back in the '90s,
Uh-huh.
when you turned on the radio in the early '90s,
Early 90s.
you would get that stuff we hear now. Well, not quite like
No,
now,
from
but
91 to
the
93.
sort of gangster stuff and the conscious would be on the same radio
but-
station.
And then
No.
gangsters-
Let's
gangsters-
go there.
I'm just saying.
Let's go there. Let me finish what I'm saying, though, brother. All right, so Rob ready to chop me off right away. Look, and this is a fact. You can look. You can look
Such a
this
short
up. You can
period,
look
yeah.
this up.
Uh-huh.
There was a year where Congress took hip hop to court,
Very much so, yeah.
and they wanted to shut hip hop down because
the
they
way
said
down.
we were about violence. They used Tupac as a reference. They used a lot of other hip hop artists as a reference. What happened the year after that?
One of the presidents we got in the house right now was a part of that.
Yeah, but
uh-huh.
that's regardless. What I'm saying is, what happened after that? You gotta listen to the story, Rob. Yes. What happened after that?
I'm just talking to black people.
They took conscious hip hop off the radio. Yes. Right after that. Soon as they realized they couldn't shut it down, they took conscious hip hop off the radio and left nothing but that stuff we hear nowadays.
Hey, what do you say, T? We're not against rap.
Yeah,
we're not against rappers, but we are against those thugs.
Yeah. And that's it. And so,
who is that?
What I'm saying is basically, conscious only can last for a certain amount of time, right? So as you look at J. Cole and you look at Kendrick Lamar and that balance you're talking about, if you actually, I've listened to both, not J. Cole because he puts me to sleep to this day. I don't care. These dudes have been putting conscious since the beginning, but have been mixing it. That's why they have been praising both of these guys, because they've been perfect. So what you've been saying, I understand to a, no pun intended, to a T. But it's here. Right. But what I'm trying to get you to understand, and what's the underlying and what's the blood in hip hop till this moment,
right,
is this bullshit that we're pushing. This violence. You can name from NWA even before that. We're sellers. They use black people as sellers. I can almost put it on Instagram. How to sell to the Negro. Ooh. It's literally on YouTube.
Yeah.
How to sell to us. Mentally, we are being fucked with big time. But a lot of people are missing it because it's the personal agendas or personal attachment or just something personal. But with black people, because we have the soul, because we have the feeling, they know we're personal. So that's what divides us ourselves before we can get to other people. Yeah. We're personally all individual, separate from our own shit. Without really trying to have understanding that conversation.
But
right.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No. Like what he's saying is right. He's right.
But they still selling that shit, and nobody's fighting because it's making them money. Oh, my family came out the hood. I gotta go help. Yeah. That same story is being playing since fucking Ice Cube.
Well, the problem is this. Yeah. The problem is this. Before that split in the music, like I was saying, before they took us off the radio with the conscious, there was a good equal amount. There was a lot of people fighting for us to have better rights, and there were those that were still doing the NWA thing. But there was a balance.
Kendrick wrote the Pulitzer.
So think about this. I understand that, but think about this. That's one person.
People that acknowledge us.
Listen to me now.
That we don't even see.
Rob, let me talk, brother. All right, so what I'm saying is, once they took the option off the radio, and now we no longer had an option. And so once they took the option of us having on the radio where we could listen to something that uplifts us, and they took that off the radio, from that point on, the black mentality towards our music started changing, because for the first generation, our generation, we remembered the conscious. But after a while, they don't remember it. The younger generation don't remember the time where they had an option. And so it just becomes normal and normal and normal. And now when a conscious song comes on the radio, it's different. When it used to be accepted as normal. And so now our whole mentality is, if it ain't on that level, it ain't gonna rock. It ain't gonna make it. So and we keep accepting it because we feed it back into our community over and over and over again.
And I'll come back to the point. I think that's super important, the point that y'all just made. And I think it comes right back to something I said earlier, is that we're a society of copycats. When you hear number one song on the radio, like Everyday People. I am everyday people. If you're an inspiring artist that's trying to get on, you're gonna go in the studio, you're gonna go in their lab, and you're gonna write a song like, I need to make something like that because that's what's hot.
That's what's hot.
That's what's being pushed. That's what's being played in the trailer of the newest blockbuster movie that's coming out. That's what's being played in the video games. That's what's being out there, right? But when you go like nowadays and the number one song is pop kill 'em, blah 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 blah. If you're a young aspiring artist, you're gonna say, I'm trying to get on.
So like example, Lil Key, like Lil Young Thug called him, he was supposed to be like a J. Cole type, and he just passed away. And he said that he was going to be J. Cole type, but he saw it was popular,
and he did that, right?
And so just imagine had in the early 90s when Congress said they wanted to shut hip-hop down because they don't trust those thugs, what if they would have just took the thugs off the radio instead of the conscious? Where would we be right now as a society, as a black society?
Yeah. So
as a black society, do you think it would be different right now?
I think that there would definitely be a difference.
There'd be a huge difference. We're tribal. Our music, we move to the beat of the drum.
Yeah. And
the music has a huge influence over black culture. Huge influence.
Not only do we influence black culture, but we influence hip hop culture.
Everybody.
Well, yeah, because hip hop ain't even just black culture anymore. Hip hop is everyone's culture now.
And so like just because we are a group of intellectuals and we're here to pull back the layers and drill down to the seed. We have all of this talk here now. What putting our minds together right now, like what's a solution? What can we tell? Like what do you think? I think like one of the biggest solutions that it's going to be, for one, when we're talking mass shootings, when we're talking about white supremacy, when we're talking about cops killing people, is like we need to be at the polls. What I mean? We need to be voting. That's one solution, and then, that's one off the top of the mind. But what are some solutions? What do you think?
Well, voting is definitely one. We need to hit the polls and get the right people in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The other thing is the home, right? We need to start having different conversations. I know I said it before. In our communities, we need to start talking about finances. We also need to talk about doing better. Yeah, credit too. Cause my credit look like shit. My credit still the up.
Please.
Hey man, shout out my boy Royce Perkins, man. We're gonna bring him on the show one of these times, man, and we're gonna
shout out Royce.
Everyone.
We're gonna definitely talk about some credit, man, because it's definitely important. But I think you're right.
The voting, the conversations in the home. When the conversation in the home changed, where the uncle stopped saying you don't need to vote, and pow pow pow, when the uncle changed that conversation to, let me take you to the voting booth, and by the way, how's life treating you? What can we do to uplift you, young man? Like when we change them conversations, and give them guidance on creating their business as opposed to shooting their neighbor. When we're able to do that, things will start changing.
Get your LLC and focus on your credit.
But you got to start them young.
Yeah.
Because the old heads ain't gonna change. You got to start them when they 10, 9, 10. You start training them at that age, and trust me, it'll balance out.
But specifically,
it ain't gonna happen overnight though. It's a long journey.
I think
love
is definitely
we need
the
to show
answer.
love.
But I also think that, and I'm gonna challenge every single ear that's hearing this message, including y'all sitting here, including my own. I challenge us as the elders now, the OGs, the 30 plus, the 40 plus, that we need to start having our voice heard. We need to start calling things out that aren't right, instead of turning the blind eye and saying, I'm not going to get involved. I don't want to beef with this little young dude. This little young dude in the bank or whatever, sagging his pants and talking crazy or, disrespecting a female or doing whatever. I feel as though we now have to start to implement some of these etiquettes that we were raised with. You know what I mean? I feel like it's come a time, and I challenge you that, if it means that you got to get in a shouting match with somebody because you're calling them out because they talking about, nigga, I'll pop you, blah, 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 blah. Like, man, I feel like it's come a time to where we have to be responsible and take some responsibility for these younger cats that are watching us. Because when we're sitting up and just letting it slide, when we're sitting up here and just being okay with it, we're giving them the green light to do it, and they don't think nothing's wrong with it. For us to show up to their video shoot and they're going, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's on us to be like, yo, like, man, I really like you, but, I'm going to be honest with you. Your music's, that violence I'm not feeling. That who you are?
I think it's more of, instead of, coming at them in a judging way, to guide them towards the right way. Like, you can't, don't judge them, but just, instead of saying, I'm not feeling your music, like let me show you a different experience.
Oh, I'm going to judge you regardless. You need to know.
Robert judge.
I think that old school feeling of being judged needs to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to tell them when they're wrong, but don't come off as if you let them know,
I'll teach you how to get to this water. No. We're not doing that soft stuff. Like you gotta learn.
It's just hard.
Because that soft mentality, you get that soccer mom mentality. Everyone gets a trophy. We're not doing that.
No, I don't believe in everyone getting a trophy either.
We're not doing that.
I ain't for that shit either. Yeah. I ain't for no everyone getting a trophy either. You gotta earn yours.
That's what makes you special.
You gotta earn yours.
That's why we got all these people that's the same me, because everybody getting the same awards.
Nope.
Oh, you participated. Thank you for coming to bring your shorts.
I don't believe in participation awards either.
No.
You earn yours.
Honestly, to go off of what T just said.
Henny got something for
like, honestly, to go off of what T just said was one of the reasons I changed my name. Because I was Sneaker Freak for years. That was my rap name when I used to spit. And I'd say like around 2009, maybe 2010, I stopped rapping. Because I wouldn't say my peers, but everybody was allowing me to be exactly what I was when I didn't want to be that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Cause everybody was like, oh man, this is fucking fire. Like, you spitting. Yeah, I can spit. I can still spit, but I don't have to spit about what I was into or what I was heading into. I wanted to change. So I just literally stopped rapping and just kept producing that Sneaker Freak. And then, like, when I was in Costa Rica, like 2014, 2015, 2016, that's when I actually changed my name to Henny. And I was like, you know what? I want to keep making music. I want to keep making beats. I'm going to make beats under this name to get rid of that moniker, because that was the sneaky side of me that everybody knew and the shit I was into, and wanted to kind of like change. Because 2015, my sister had my nephew. Now my brother has kids too. I know them, but I wasn't around. You know what I mean? So I know these kids, but I wasn't around like I was for my sister's kids because we were in the same house.
Yeah.
And that shit changed me. Like, when she had those two babies back to back, that shit changed me. And it was like, damn.
Well, this is the thing, right?
Yeah, that's real.
Our time has come to...
You can tell we can go for a while with this stuff.
I say we'll make this part one. We'll come
I got a lot to say.
We'll come back with part two. It's funny, right? Like, to leave with a light note. Man, I was in the bed. This is so random, too. I was in the bed rolling last night, right? I was watching Family Guy, and it was the episode where the whole family, they leave Stewie at home. And it's like supposed to be like Home Alone. Mm-hmm. And Peter's driving, right? And Lois is in the passenger seat, and Peter's watching the car next to him. He goes, oh, they have a TV screen. And Peter's watching the TV as he's driving, and Lois is like, Peter, watch the road. And like the camera like pans over to the passenger side of her, and she's like, see, Peter, you gotta watch the road. And she turns back at him, and he's in the other car.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That was funny shit. That was funny.
I can see that shit.
And then they crash.
Oh,
and
no.
then he looks over the cliff. He goes, hey, Crashy.
That show's ridiculous. Yeah,
I got home so late last night, and I was dying. I was almost in tears laughing. But yeah, this is once again, this is episode 13. You know, we so much appreciate all of you that are listening. You know, shout out Nas the Poet. 13.
Last week was Friday the 13th. Boy, if we would have shot the 13th on the 13th.
Good thing we on the delay.
Thank God we took last week.
I had a reggae song for this. Friday the 13th. That's how it goes.
That's it.
I literally got it. I can play it right now. Friday the 13th.
Yo, I wanted to send a shout out though. I want to send a shout out to Nas the Poet. You know, she had a lot of positive feedback.
Yo.
She loves our show. She was rolling last week.
We love Nas too.
Society's
we
poet.
love her.
That's my sister.
I think we need to get her on here sometime. You know,
yes, absolutely.
So many others, man. But we just want to thank y'all for listening each and every week, checking us out. You know, definitely taking the seed that we're planting in you. You know, and hopefully, you know, opening your mind to so many different things. You know, and so with the jewel of the day, I'm gonna make it very short and very relevant. You know, 3 words: stop the violence.
Please.
Stop the violence.
Yes,
man.
please. Yes,
Stop
please.
the violence. I mean, we are in a state of emergency right now. You know, and in the words of my own song, we don't need no more bloodshed,
None.
no more gun flare. Enough people died too young. We need love here. We are the Hot Mango Seed Podcast, and until next time,
Peace.
Get your game up.
I don't even know what that
Get your
means.
game up. Get your game up.
Until next time, We'll see you next time. Stay blessed.